Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Attack on Titan. Today, we're wrapping it up, and as you can see, I have a good choice of thumbnails here. We got Flock, we got Daz, we got all the heroes. Hello everybody, what's up? We are finishing up Attack on Titan here, and welcome back. Spoilers ahead for these episodes of Attack on Titan. So yeah, by the way, go in the description, click on the Dailymotion or the Google Drive links, you get the deal. Or the BitChute links, assuming they all work. You get the idea. We're gonna wrap it up here. Before we wrap it up, I just want to come in here and talk a little bit more. As you may have recalled, in the previous 3 episodes on the previous redirect, I talked a little bit about my feelings on Attack on Titan and kind of my general vibe with reviewing things and shows and stuff, and I kind of want to continue that. In fact, I wonder if I'm going to put this and the previous redirect up at the same time. I might do that, I might not, we'll see. I probably won't. I'll probably put this up the day after. But anyways, hi everybody. So yeah, it's kind of unconventional here, but I'm going to sort of continue my discussion from the previous redirect into this one a bit more. So let's go. I specifically feel the need to do this because I feel like I was pretty damn critical, especially in episode... Which episode was that? 86, I believe it was? Yes, 86. I feel like I was specifically critical there. I feel like, The heck is that noise? There's some crazy stuff going on. My cat is getting into all kinds of things. My cats, excuse me. Plural. Anyways. Let's ramble a bit here about these episodes. So, episode 84, I didn't mind. From what I recall, that's the episode where they all sat at the campfire and they talked, and Jean punched someone, and I got really mad about Gabby showing up. In retrospect, also, I'm going to talk about the episode spoilers. You should watch the episodes first. Okay, thanks. In retrospect, I think about that episode, and I like it a lot more than it probably seemed like. I was just ranting and raving about Gabby, and as I say in those episodes, I'm pretty sure, I don't really have the mental capacity to properly dissect why I like or don't like certain parts of the show, so I just kind of rant and rave, which I don't mean to do, but when I'm recording, I feel the need to say something, and I'm trying to put it into words, but I don't know how to put it into words, so I'm just kind of talking a bunch. As you can tell, I'm doing that right now. That's kind of what I do. But I do look back on that episode much more fondly than it probably seemed. I have the controllers on my Switch backwards. How did I do that? Anyways, yeah, I'm much more fond of that episode than I was in the moment, because I do think that scene around the campfire and with Theo, I think his name was Theo, him and Jean's little dialogue back and forth, I thought that was cool. I thought all of that was great. I will say, though, one big negative that I stand by wholeheartedly is Annie and her rejoining of the group being done off-screen. I didn't really talk about it much beyond episode 84, or beyond the previous session, because I genuinely assumed we'd get to see it in a flashback, and they just kind of skipped it for the sake of episode 83, I think. Just to have the final, scene play out. But no, we didn't get to see that, and, I feel a little robbed. I feel like Annie and... I mean, we didn't even get a scene where Annie and Reidner spoke. Bertold is dead, and we didn't get to see Annie's reaction to that. We didn't get to see any of that. It's just so crazy to me. I mean, hell, the other guy, what's his name? Not Grisha. The other, jaw titan guy. I forget his name because I blocked him out of my mind because I don't care. But him, wasn't he friends with Annie and Reiner and Bertold too? Like, it's just crazy that we didn't get that. Like, we got them fighting together in Titan form in episode 85, I believe. But, like, it's crazy we didn't get a scene of them just sitting down and, like, talking. It's so crazy. Like, Annie is this character that we've been building up since the end of season 1. Her return has been teased and, like, hinted at, and just she's been such a constant force throughout these seasons. Not implying that, like, anything's really gonna happen to her, but she's always been there, and we always see her at least once a season to remind you she's there, and then she comes back, and it's almost like it didn't really matter that she's back. And in one way, I think that's kind of cool, because it's more kind of grounded. Annie coming back isn't a big deal when the world is ending. That's fair. But I don't know, man. I would have just really liked to have seen more of her, and I get that the show doesn't have time to do all of that, and maybe it's in the manga. I don't know. It just felt a little weird, like, to have her come back and then just kind of skip over the part where she rejoins the group. I don't know. Felt odd. But overall, I did enjoy episode 84 quite a bit. I really enjoyed episode 85, with the exception of Flock's existence, which I go into plenty in the episode itself, and I don't feel the need to go too far into that in this one. I will admit a lot of my problems with him would probably be solved on a rewatch, as I, like, notice little details and things he says and things he doesn't really say, and all these little details that I'm sure exist, but I just wasn't looking for because I didn't know what was going on in the plot. But, stop it, cat. My cat is in my luggage bag, trying to, like, tear it up. Anyways, the point is I don't really need to talk about Flock. I talk about him plenty. But besides Flock stuff, I enjoyed episode 85. I liked seeing some good action. You got to see Reiner and Annie team up. That was cool. It was great. It was a wonderful old time. And it's also really cool. I didn't really talk about it in the episode, but it's cool to have the Armored Titan on our side. That hasn't happened in the show yet, I'm pretty sure. The closest we've had is, like, Ymir being on our side during the big fight at the tower. That is the closest we've come to having a bad guy be on our side, and that was really cool. So, well, I guess besides the Beast Titan, but Zeke's weird. Zeke's barely on our side. Also, is Zeke dead? I don't think they fully explained what happened to him. Well, no, he fused with Eren, whatever that means. Anywho, back to the point here. What was I saying? Right. It was cool to see Reiner, like, be on our side. It's same with Annie. In the Attack on Titan game, like, you can play as them, and I always thought it was a cool idea to have, like, a bunch of, like, omnidirectional gear people zipping around one big Titan who's, like, helping the squad through, and that kind of happened there. And I thought it was pretty cool. I honestly kind of wish we got more of that. It's a shame that the javelins were introduced, or the spears were introduced to the series, because now Titans are far less of a threat. Now pretty much any Titan can be killed reasonably by anyone, which kind of sucks, but hey, whatever. It's cool. And if it means we get that cool shot. What are you doing? My cat is just, like, staring at the wall now. Anyways, if it means we get that cool shot of Reiner and Annie jumping into the air and then turning and landing as the big Titans, and it's all really cool and I clap, then it's fine. Whatever. I also obviously enjoyed the Armin, Connie, Daz, and the other guys scene. I like Daz. I'll admit it's like purely because he's from or he's in the video game. And I remember him only because of that. But with that said, I like Daz. I think he's cool. He's just a massive coward, and I think that's great. And I'm glad he was brought back into the story in some form. And my cat is just continuously scratching on this thing. Please stop, thank you. Jesus. Anyways, yeah, like, I liked him being brought back, and as frustrating as that scene was, watching it play out, and I kept yelling, like, you guys aren't friends, you're not friends anymore, this is so dumb. That was, like, frustration, but it was clearly intended frustration. It was frustration at, like, the scenario these characters were found in. And I hope I didn't seem like I was, like, saying the show was bad because people were being emotional and unreasonable, because I don't think that's the case at all. I think that scene was really, really good, and I can see why from each character's point of view they did what they did. I think the only thing I was kind of annoyed with was the one guy actually shooting Armin. It just seemed a bit like, man, if you're gonna do that, shoot Connie too, like, immediately. It just seemed odd that he shot Armin. I get that he might know Armin's a Titan and he can survive that, but I didn't get the impression he was trying to, like, spare Armin at all. So it seemed a little quick on the trigger for someone who seemed to view them as friends. But I liked how the rest of it played out, and it led to the really cool scene of Armin kind of just sitting there, dazed, bleeding. That was cool. But yeah, I thought that was great. Compared to, like, Yolanda's scene where, like, Reiner and Annie start fighting and we cut to Yolanda on the fucking, like, cliff, or Yelena, whatever her name is, and we cut to her and she goes, you can't remove the hate from man or something, and I'm just like, shut up, because that doesn't feel like she's supposed to be being a prick. It feels like the show is trying to, like, pat me on the head and say, you listen here, stupid child, listen to the words of wisdom from Yelena. And it's just like, shut up, this character, I don't care. Once again, I'm sure this is something that would probably be solved if I watched the final season over again and then got back up to this point. Maybe I'd care more, but at this point I did not care about her in the least. With that said, episode 85 was nice. Episode 86 was also great. I liked pretty much everything that happened in it, except for Flock dying by Gabby shooting him. Like, nothing. I feel nothing. My soul is dead. And it's not because, ooh, I hate Gabby. It's because Gabby and Flock are, like, they have nothing going on. It's just so lame that Flock is killed by Gabby. It's like, come on, man. Like, yes, I don't like Gabby, but I don't know, man. It's just like, Flock was built up as this massive deal, this big antagonist, and he just, like, gets shot by Gabby. Also, Gabby is, like, a fantastic shot, and I get she was in a war and she threw the grenades and it's clear she's a pretty good shot, but I don't know, man. It's just like, I just don't care about Flock and Gabby, and you're putting these two characters who I kind of don't like that much in the same situation, and you're like, the whole build up to Flock is for him to die and for it to be really fucking cool, and you just have him fucking get shot by Gabby. Okay, whatever, man. Like, you couldn't have had Keith do it, or Mikasa, or literally anyone. Whatever, who cares? Maybe Daz could have come back from the dead, alright? That would have been sick. I'm joking, but still. But besides that, great episode. Everything with Keith and I believe his name's Theo. I forget his name. But everything with those two was great. I thought it was a good way to send those characters off. Just two old men on opposite sides of conflict, realizing there's things more important than their nation or country or whatever you call the wall, the Paradise Island, whatever you'd call that. Just two dudes going, hey, you're pretty cool. That was great. And then, of course, the final episode, which I had a lot to talk about, and I stand by pretty much everything I said. Overall, a good episode. I think at the very start, you can even hear me in the middle of my rant saying this is probably going to be a good episode. And it was. But man, if this story was just in chronological order, I would be so much happier. And I get it. The mystery, the suspense, I get it. But to me, that aspect of the show and the reveals and all that is not worth me not being fully invested in what Aaron is doing throughout the plot, and what all the other characters are doing. Like, I wish I could have understood the mood when Mikasa, Armin, and all of them came in to save Aaron. I wish I could have fully understood the context of what had happened to them, but I didn't. And once again, a big reason why I'm so negative in these sessions, it's just the show not doing what I want, and what it is doing isn't even something I like. Like, there's been plenty of shows where it does something I don't expect. Like, this is not what I expected the show to be. Code Geass, the second half of Death Note, even the second half of season 1 of Attack on Titan. Plenty of shows I've watched do things I don't expect and go off into completely different directions, and this is not what I was prepared to watch. And I either learn to adapt to it and just enjoy what is here, even if it's not what I expected the show to be. And that can be hard to do, especially if it's not a type of show I like. Like, if it changes from a show I like to a show... Hold on, how do I put this? If the show changes what it's doing, and my expectations go from something I like to something I don't like, and the show kind of makes that shift, which it kind of has been throughout the seasons, going from just kind of a very simple story of good, evil, and some vague middle people to a much more fleshed out story, but a far less appealing one for what I want the show to be, or what I come to Attack on Titan for. But if that's the case, then I hope what they replace what I wanted with is at least still something that I like. And sadly, I just haven't enjoyed the stuff that they've replaced the more traditional Attack on Titan kind of crazy action with vague mysteries. As we've been getting answers, the show's been changing a bit, and I feel like what we've been getting in place of the old Attack on Titan is a much more new style of it, which is especially hammered home with the new animation and all that, which I'm still not huge on. It has its good parts. I digress. But yeah, Flock and Gabby and all this talk of the 7 or the 9 Titans of Ymir and the subjects of Ymir and the government doing this and the king being a puppet king and the rumbling and Ymir, the founding Titan, and what her stuff is, and the little roach in the water, which I actually do like that part. But with all that said, I just don't like the direction the show's going in. And wow, I'm really fucking rambling here. I'm so tired. Anyways, the point is, I'm not huge on the new direction the show's going in. But I think I would be more into it if I was eased into this new direction. And I feel that way because I liked Season 3. I loved Season 3 of Attack on Titan. And it barely had Titans in it, period. And I think if we had started with something more like this, more like those flashbacks from the final season, Part 1, I think I could have enjoyed this more. I could have bought into it more. But the fact we didn't, and the fact that it's telling a story that I'm not huge on, in a way I'm not huge on, is just hurting my soul. And I'm in a tough place here where I feel like Attack on Titan just isn't what I want it to be, and what it is, I don't really love, but I want to stick with it to the end, and I definitely plan to. But it's tough to talk about it because I'm basically complaining that the color blue isn't the color red. I'm just complaining that something isn't what it is. Like, it's just like, yes, Attack on Titan isn't the same show. It's changed. It's not going back to that show. It can't, especially at this point. Although maybe it will, because this is a far more black and white conflict, it seems. Eren is trying to end the world, pretty much. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm rambling my ass off. I'll probably talk more about this in an update video coming up, but for now, I think I've spoken enough. I need to edit these videos and get this up before I go on my trip in a couple hours. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of whatever comes next. Apologies for the rambling and all that, but thank you for watching, and thank you for watching all 3 of these redirects, if you have. If you've been sticking with me as I've uploaded them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next episodes of whatever comes next, which will probably be My Hero Academia or Shadow's House. Anyways, goodbye. That was a long one, holy shit.